We're always talking about teaching AI what to think, right? We just pour more and more data into them. But what if we could teach an AI how to think? I mean, really teach it to control its own reasoning process, to know when to step back and think a problem through, and when to just, go with its gut. Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today. It's pretty wild. And it all starts with this incredible insight from Daniel Kahneman. Now, he was talking about people, but this idea perfectly captures a huge struggle happening right now in artificial intelligence. We all have that fast, intuitive, almost instant reaction. And then we have our slow, deliberate, let me think about this side. And it turns out that exact dynamic is at the heart of both a massive challenge and a really, really cool breakthrough for AI. So for these super advanced AIs, researchers call them large reasoning models, or LRMs. These two thinking styles are absolutely crucial. Slow thinking is when the AI is carefully, methodically checking its own work, step by step, almost like it's proofreading its own thoughts and correcting mistakes as it goes. On the other hand, you've got fast thinking, and that's the AI's gut reaction, that quick, intuitive jump to the solution. Okay, but here's the big problem. While you and I switch between these two modes all the time, AI models are actually pretty terrible at it. They really struggle to find that sweet spot, that perfect balance, and that leads to some major flaws in how they reason. This imbalance really boils down to two critical failures. First, the model can overthink. It gets stuck in this endless loop, just second-guessing itself over and over, and it burns through a ton of computing power without actually getting anywhere. Then there's the other extreme. It underthinks. It just rushes to an answer and completely misses the best solution, or sometimes even the right one. So at the end of the day, what these models are missing is basically a control knob for their own brain. They have no idea when the perfect moment is to switch gears from that careful, slow thinking to just making a quick, confident decision. And that's the very thing that's been holding them back. So to fix this, a team of researchers came up with something called the ALPHAONE framework. And it's designed to be exactly that, a universal controller for AI thought. It's a really elegant solution to this whole balancing act problem. So, what exactly is ALPHAONE? Well, it's not some brand new giant AI model. A better way to think about it is like a strategy guide or a set of rules that you apply to an AI while it's working on a problem. It basically gives the AI a budget and a strict schedule for its own thinking. Now, how ALPHAONE actually works is both super simple and honestly kind of genius. It's all about creating a clear, structured moment for the AI to make that switch from thinking slowly to thinking fast. At the very heart of this whole strategy is something called the alpha moment. It's just a specific point in the AI's thinking process that's set by a simple parameter called, you guessed it, alpha. You can almost picture it as a preset alarm clock that goes off and tells the AI, okay, time to change how you're thinking. And it works in two simple steps. Before that alpha moment alarm goes off, the framework slips in these little instructions called wait tokens. These literally force the AI to pause, to reflect, to do that really valuable slow thinking. But then, as soon as that alpha moment is hit, the strategy flips. The framework starts swapping out any urge to wait with an end of thinking token. It basically says, all right, time's up, wrap it up, and give me the final answer. What you get is this really well-structured, slow then fast approach. It makes sure the AI does the heavy lifting, the deliberate work, right at the beginning. But, and this is so important, it stops it from getting stuck in what the researchers call slow thinking inertia. That endless overthinking loop. It actually forces a conclusion. Okay, so the big question is, does this simple little trick actually work? Well, the results are, they're pretty stunning. The impact it has on performance is just dramatic. Just look at these numbers. For a pretty powerful 1.5 billion parameter model, the improvements were just incredible. On really tough math, coding, and science problems, ALPHAONE boosted the accuracy by almost 7 percentage points across the board. But here's the real kicker. It did all of that while using about 20% less computational power. So the AI didn't just get smarter, it got way, way more efficient. It's the best of both worlds. The bottom line is this. The average accuracy jump across all of these tough tests was over 6%. In the world of AI, that is a massive, massive leap in performance. And it's all just from applying a smarter way of thinking. But honestly, maybe the most fascinating thing they discovered was this. The researchers found that the absolute best strategy for an AI is to think slow first and then think fast. And what's so wild about that is it's the complete opposite of how we humans usually work. We tend to have that quick gut reaction first, and then we only switch to slow, careful thinking if we get stuck. And the data just screams this out. When they tested different approaches on this really hard Olympiad benchmark, the slow then fast method was the clear winner. It beat the human-like fast then slow strategy, and it even beat just letting the AI think slowly the whole time. It's a totally counterintuitive look into how these digital minds actually work best. So, okay, why does any of this matter? This is way more than just some interesting experiment. It really signals a huge shift in how we can build and use AI, making them way more powerful and, well, reliable problem solvers. So let's just quickly recap the big takeaways here. First, and this is a big one, AI thinking is not the same as human thinking. It needs its own special strategies. Second, giving an AI really precise control over its own thought process is the secret to unlocking massive performance gains. Third, ALPHAONE proves you can make an AI both more accurate and more efficient at the same time, which is huge. And finally, for right now at least, the best way for an AI to tackle a problem is to think slow first, then fast. And all of this leaves us with a really, really exciting question. For pretty much the first time ever, we have a knob we can turn, a way to schedule and structure an AI's thinking. Now that we can start to tame this digital mind, what are the really big, complex problems in science, in medicine, anywhere, that we should ask them to solve first? The possibilities are just starting to open up.